Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Sam and I make videos about makeup, chronic illness, and whatever I want. Today, I'm going to be doing a requested video about accessibility aids. I almost called this video mobility aids, but there are some other things on this list that I think are helpful to everyday life that aren't necessarily for mobility, so it's just accessibility. Now, I know there are a lot more accessibility aids than what will be in this list, but these are the ones that I have personally used and found benefit from. I would love if you leave in the comments things that help you out or that you think could be beneficial to me or anyone else watching these videos. So the first thing on my list that has been incredibly helpful in moments of flares or muscle weakness or literally anything, and that is a cane. I have a couple canes. I have one that like collapses and folds up, and then I have a wooden cane. The wooden cane I actually use for like pressure point release more so than I use as a cane. I like the one that folds up because it's easy to take with me. I don't need a cane too often, but after I had the illness last year, I was having a lot of issues with weakness in my legs, and I was having trouble standing from a sitting position, and I was falling a lot, and this really helped me keep my balance. It's also really great on days that I just feel kind of dizzy because it's easy to lose your balance in those moments, and so I think it's very beneficial. I wanted to add another preface to the beginning of this video that accessibility aids are for everyone. Whether you identify as disabled or not, maybe you don't actually have a disability, but you find that some of these things just make your life easier. There is no shame, and these aren't to be gate kept. Like, I'm going to get to like closed captioning. Closed captioning can benefit everyone, whether you have a hearing problem or a focus problem, or you just like them. That's okay. And for those of us who need accessibility aids, there's no shame in using them either. There was a very long time, and I still struggle with it now, where I was a bit ashamed to have to use like a wheelchair or a motorized cart, but I realized I was making my life a little more difficult just for the comfort of others because they didn't think I needed such a thing and it made them uncomfortable. I was harming myself for the comfort of strangers or sometimes people that I know personally, and that is not okay. Your health and safety come first, and literally fuck what anyone else has to say about it. Let's get back to the list. On the same vein as a cane, I have a walker. So after I had surgery all the time, but specifically the last time, I had a hard time standing upright and especially getting on and off the toilet. Now, there are many reasons you could have that issue: weak back, weak legs, etc. The walker saved me. It gave me my independence. I didn't have to ask for help getting on and off the toilet. Also, it's okay if you do have to ask for help. Don't think that you're less of a person, less capable, or less independent just because you need help with tasks like that. But for me, a walker really helps even more than a cane, I would say. Just keep my balance. There are days where I wish I had one of those wheeled seated ones for around the house when I'm having a really bad day. So it's like if I'm waiting for, the microwave to finish, I could just like sit and wait, and because it's not on for very long, so I can't go sit down and walk back. But I think a walker is very beneficial. Seeing as I mentioned them, let's jump down. I don't have this list in order. Let's jump down to both a wheelchair and a motorized cart. I understand that they're different, but they're also similar. So a wheelchair, sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you need to go to the store and you don't have it in you to walk, and you don't really have it in you to use a motorized cart. Use a wheelchair, huh? Ask someone to push you in a wheelchair, or maybe you could steer it yourself. Obviously, if you do need a wheelchair and you find that you use too much energy or your body just can't handle walking all of the time, talk to your doctor about a wheelchair. I think it's a really good option, whether you absolutely need it or you'll need it sometimes. The sometimes matters too. Just because you don't need an accessibility aid every day doesn't mean you don't need it. and that it wouldn't benefit your life. The next one, motorized carts. I have a hard time because people stare at you when you're using them. They're judging you because, like, I'm a fat woman. I am privileged enough to still be straight sized, so I don't get as much stares as some other people, but I do get stared at because I'm a fat woman using a motorized cart. And if you're a fat person who's using a motorized cart, there is no shame in it for whatever reason you're using it. I don't care if it's a health problem. I don't care if you just feel like it. Like, do what makes you comfortable. And I'm sorry that people can be so awful because of your body size. They have no idea what's happening, and your body size does not dictate the accessibility aids that you have a right to use, and you should not feel embarrassed or ashamed to need an accessibility aid, period. But I understand it's also just hard. I say that and practice what I preach, but sometimes it is just difficult. People are rude, and you get in your own head, and you just don't want to use a thing. But while I do curbside 99% of the time, if I have to go into a store and I'm really not feeling it that day, the motorized carts give me the ability to get tasks done. And they could help you get tasks done as well. So don't be afraid to use them. One caveat is that store carts suck a lot and they'll just like die. So keep that in mind, that you might get stranded depending on the store. Walmart is notorious for that. Target is notorious for that. Keep that in mind. Here's some things that aren't necessarily mobility aids now. I would like to start with a shower chair. I have mentioned this in previous videos, but sitting to shower is one of the most beneficial things that I have ever done. For a while, it felt kind of weird because I have this thing where technically I can stand. Technically I can whatever. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. And it was wasting energy. I was crashing after a shower to the point I'd have to recover for hours afterwards. It's just not worth it. Just sit down. And to go with that, a removable shower head can be really helpful for some people. Like, let's say you don't want to sit in the shower and have it just like spraying all over you. You can detach the shower head and just kind of, rinse yourself off. Also, you can get it like closer to your hair, or you could have someone assist you with hair washing, and it would be a lot easier with the detachable thingy than if you're in the shower. That could make a big mess with water spraying everywhere. Orthopedic shoes. I know they're not cute. Some of them are cute. Like, I love Birkenstocks. But if you're not wearing shoes that are proper for your feet, and maybe an orthopedic shoe wouldn't be the most comfortable for your feet, just find comfortable shoes. Because if you have shoes that aren't comfortable, your feet hurt, then your ankles hurt, then your knees hurt, then your hips hurt, then your lower back hurts, and it's a whole mess. Everything is connected. So please make sure you're wearing proper shoes. Some of my personal favorite shoes aren't necessarily orthopedic. The Birkenstocks are, and I understand it's a privilege to be able to afford something like that, or any of the shoes I'm going to mention, because they are fairly expensive. But if you can, or if you can ask for like people to like pitch in, like, I don't know, your whole family goes in on a gift or something. Some of these shoes for me have been worth it. Birkenstocks for the summer, A+. I also have a pair of Birkenstocks that I wear as house shoes. Vans are really comfortable for me. They don't have great arch support, and I have high arches, but because of the shape of the shoe and the type of the insert, I've never had foot pain. I can do like my longer walking in those shoes. I've never had an issue. I've been wearing them since I was probably 17, so a very long time. I know that they're ugly and it's kind of in the name, but Ugg boots do wonders for me with the Raynaud's syndrome, because my hands and feet turn absolutely frigid during certain times of year. And one, they're comfortable and they offer enough support for me, but two, they help my feet from going numb and causing like almost like frostbite. Now, there are tons of other shoes. You'll probably need to try some on, figure out if you have wide feet or narrow feet or regular, etc. But these are some brands that I have been very happy with, and I think a good comfortable pair of shoes is very, very important to help with pain issues. Speaking of ankles, knees, and hips, braces and wraps. So I have carpal tunnel. I twist my ankles. I seem to have knee issues. What I have learned is I most likely have a connective tissue disorder. I don't know if it is EDS or if it's just weak connective tissue. Who knows? But my joints tend to be a little too loosey-goosey, a little bit floppy, and so I'm prone to hurting myself. So braces are very important. I sleep with a wrist brace on because if I don't, my hand goes numb, my arm goes numb all the way to my elbow, pain, tingling, the whole 9 yards. I have ankle braces because I have twisted my ankles countless times over the years. I do not currently have a knee brace, but I need one because I had severe knee pain the other day and I have no idea what I did to it. But it seems like when I sit in a way that's comfortable, sometimes it just stretches the ligaments and causes pain. You may have arthritis, you may have an old injury. Braces and wraps, keep them in your house even if you don't need them regularly. You never know when you will need them, and they are very handy. TENS unit. A TENS unit is for pain management, and I don't know what TENS stands for, but it's like an electrostimulation thing, and for me, this helps me be a little more mobile, and it's really great to have if I'm like required to do something, like I have an appointment or something. I can slap that on if I'm having a really bad pain day and just take it with me, and it helps with pain management. So I would say like the TENS unit does help in the sense of not losing my entire day to pain. Sometimes I still do, but like in some like less severe instances, I don't lose my entire day to pain, and it's very nice. It also just helps you sleep better. If you're having some pain, you put that on for like a half an hour before bed and just kind of like relaxes all of your muscles. On that note, heating pads, kind of the same thing. Like I always loved those Thermacare ones with my endometriosis pain when I was at school, or if you have to go to work or something, having a heating pad, whether you have to have it plugged in or the portable ones that you could microwave or that kind of like snap and whatever. Heating pads definitely help take the edge off with some pain and help you just have access to life. Earplugs and or noise canceling headphones. So I have sensitivity to noise, 1 from my autism and 2 just on flare days. I'm very sensitive to noise. I have to sleep with earplugs because I wake up at the slightest noise, but they are also helpful on days where the noise is just too much and it's causing migraines or it's causing overstimulation. They do make something, I think they're called loops, where they don't block out 100% of the time, but you can also get earplugs with ratings. The higher the number, the more noise it blocks out. So you could get a really low number if you just need to muffle things to help with your sensitivity. Or there are noise canceling headphones that could help with panic attacks if you want to listen to a meditation or a sound machine. Also, if you just need to block out noise and you don't like having things in your ears, you can just turn on a noise canceling feature without having to play any kind of sound. Closed captions. So I come from a family with a few hard of hearing individuals, and so I have been used to closed captioning. But for me, on a flare day where I'm having trouble maybe processing talking, it is very helpful to have closed captioning on because I can focus on something, and sometimes it's really quiet or people are mumbling in whatever you're watching, and you can just safely see and know exactly what they're saying. Something I would like to really get better about on my channel is putting in my own closed captioning on my videos rather than having YouTube auto-generate them because they're usually quite bad. So that is something I hope to do in the new year, is start to put my own closed captioning in for those who don't like to listen to sound, who can't listen to sound, people who are hard of hearing, etc. I just think closed captioning is very helpful and it makes a lot more things accessible. I think that's all I have. That was all I could think of. I'm sure there are other things. I just thought of one. Handicap place stickers. I know a lot of people feel guilt using a handicap place sticker because they feel like they're stealing it or they don't need it. But I promise you, if you feel like you need it, you need it. You wouldn't make something like that up. Most doctors will go over your health conditions, and if they believe that it would also benefit you, it's not hard to get the placeholder, and that has truly saved my skin on so many days. Something is busy, there's literally no parking, and my body is about to quit, but I don't have a choice but to go to this hospital, like doctor's appointment that's at hospital. It is so beneficial. So please, if you think it could benefit you, speak to your doctor about that. And now I think I have gone through everything that I can think of for accessibility aids. Like I said in the beginning of the video, please share anything that helps you down in the comments. Maybe I forgot something that even I use and you could jog my memory, but help each other out. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.